Welcome to Life with Long COVID with me, Paul Clark. It's estimated that around 400 million people are suffering from the effects of what is now called long COVID globally. There are probably many more people suffering but not able to articulate what is wrong with them. This podcast was started for one reason and one reason only: that those suffering will not feel like they're on their own. Hello and welcome back to Life with Long COVID. My name is Paul, and if you're listening to this at the turn of the year, Happy New Year. Thanks for choosing to spend a little bit of time of your time here with me. And if you're listening later on, because you can do that with podcasts, that's absolutely fine too. Time works differently, doesn't it, when you've got chronic illness, hey? We have to learn that pretty quickly. But I'm recording this at the beginning of January, so I want to say thank you. I want to thank you to everyone who subscribes, listens, shares, everyone who quietly supports this podcast, my writing, your messages, and your patience mean more to me than, well, you can probably realise. This podcast and the writing that comes alongside it, they've really helped me. And I hope as much as it's helped yourselves as well. So, thank you. My voice is going. Hang on a minute. Like I could edit that out, but, you know, my voice keeps going. So I apologise for that as we go along. So, yeah, thank you. This podcast episode is a kind of New Year reflection, but it's not in the kind of glossy New Year, New You kind of thing. I'm not going to set out a 10-point plan for the year. It's more of a gentle, it's New Year. What are we hoping for in the new year? What are we looking for? Because when we've got chronic illness, hope looks different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just is a thing. January 2026... Actually, I've realised this morning, marks 5 years since I caught COVID and long COVID. Actually, it was Christmas 2020, I believe, when I caught COVID, and January 2021 when I still felt the symptoms, and I believe my long COVID started. So unless my maths and my foggy brain is really robbing me, it's 5 years this month of living with long COVID. I don't know why, but it feels significant. 5 years is a strange number, I think. It seems like a significant number. It's long enough that people probably stopped asking me now, how have I been doing lately? And ask how I'm doing now. And there has been a shift. People don't ask when I'm going to get better. They generally ask me now, how have you been this week? Because this is the new me, right? And I think that's important because for a long time, for many years, I lived with an assumption that recovery would be around a corner. Not like tomorrow or next month, but soon. You know, we read media reports of breakthroughs, of trials, of different drugs and people who have been cured by taking this, that or the other, and we think they're going to find something, right? They're going to find that magic bullet that's going to help us, and we're going to recover, and everything's going to be great. We go back to being whatever normal was before. And I've lived pretty much every year like that. And that's fine. Hope is a good thing, right? I'm not saying that it might not happen. But 5 years in, something's shifted now. I don't expect there to be a cure in 2026 for long COVID. Like, not in the way I once imagined there'd be. And if that sounds like I'm giving up, it kind of isn't. It's kind of just a mental shift, which actually is positive, I think, in the long term. Because I don't want to spend 2026 sitting around waiting for another cure. Or a cure. You know, I don't want to stop living anymore. I want to spend 2026 living, but in a way, you know, within my parameters, if that makes sense. I'll be honest, Christmas has been absolutely brutal this year for me. I was very prepared. I recorded an episode before Christmas. I've been writing about this. I was well prepared this year. Bought my stuff early. I did a little bit every day to prepare for Christmas. I thought I was done well, but what I didn't count on was getting a cold before Christmas, like a flu-y cold. It wasn't really full flu, but which morphed and changed throughout the seasonal time, never went away. In the last couple of weeks, it's turned into a horrible cough, which has kept me up at night, which has been hacking away, and I still feel more drained, more energy zapped than I even do normally. That's on top of the long COVID stuff, right? So, any hope of a dignified recovery is totally gone. It's slow, and I feel like maybe I'm turning the corner now, and I can stop moaning about having a cold and a cough. But honestly, it's been absolutely brutal, and it's been exhausting. And yeah, I've had a good Christmas. I've had a good family time, but it's been hard work to raise the energy levels at times because I've just been so absolutely and utterly exhausted. I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm sure you do. So yeah, turning the corner now, but recovering from what has been a brutal Christmas period. But that's enough, really. That kind of slight turn in towards hopefully recovering from this stupid cough and voice thing, to think, well, what do I want 2026 to be? And I want 2026 to be, going back to the subject, because I'm probably rambling, I want it to be not a year of waiting to get over stuff. Whether it be a cold, whether it be flu, whether it be long COVID fatigue, whether it be mobility issues. I don't want to spend all year just getting over the particular hump that we have of exhaustion and immobility. I want to live within the confines of what energy levels I have that day and stop lamenting the things I can't do. Acknowledge the confines, even if they're very narrow, and accept it and consider everything a win or nothing a win. This shift in my thinking develops over time. It's been painfully slow. I still regress back to regretting the things I can't do very often. So, I don't want to tell you now that this has been a revelation for me. At times I've felt like this in the past, but I just feel this year, 5 years in, a quiet, confident shift in my attitude. And that's what I want to take into the new year. I want to take into this different mindset, if you like, solidify it and ground myself in it. I want to say this clearly, just to pause and say, if you are in that phase of hoping for recovery next month, next week, this year, I'm not saying that that's not going to come, and I'm totally honouring of that. I'm not saying it won't come either. This is about my hope and expectation, not whether or not a cure is coming, and I don't think you shouldn't hope for that. We're all different. We're all at different stages of living with this illness. Your hope is definitely not naive, and your story is definitely not the same as mine. Some people do recover. I've read stories of people recovering. Some people improve. I'm just in that category of person that doesn't seem to be improving. I'm just trying to live it out the best I can. So look, I'm not saying that you should feel the same way as I do, but I'm hoping by documenting this, by recording this, that you may understand and empathise and sympathise. But more than that, if you're feeling the same way as I do, you won't feel like you're on your own. It's about naming where I am, honestly, without pretending we all walk the same path, right? The other kind of shadow that's hanging over me this year, and if you live in the United Kingdom, you'll get this more maybe than anywhere else, but I think the United States is similar, is that a lot of my benefits come up for renewal, and what that means is I've got to go through assessments again because I've got to prove that I'm still ill. Basically what it is, and it's absolutely grinding. I've been dreading it since last year, and I just had a call a couple of days ago to say that my first assessment is on Monday, and I'm dreading it. I really am dreading it. And with all these assessments, they come with this sub kind of message that I should feel guilty for needing to apply for benefits, when really I shouldn't. Like, I paid taxes all my life, and part of the taxes were to in case something like this would happen. No one planned to have a global pandemic, and I certainly didn't plan to get long COVID. I didn't choose it. And the benefit system is there for us if we need that safety net, and I have needed that safety net, and I continue to need that safety net moving forward. So I don't know why I feel guilty about applying for these benefits, about renewing it, but boy, do they make it hard. Boy, do they make you feel guilty. And it's such a long process having to prove how ill you are. Crazy, absolutely crazy, and I'm dreading it. It's not just physically grueling, it's mentally grueling, and it's emotionally grueling as well. To have to face up and describe to another person how your disability affects your life reminds you of every little thing you have to do extra to what you did before, and I find that really upsetting. So that process begins on Monday, and as I say, I'm not looking forward to it. If you've got to go through this as well this year, you have my deepest sympathies, and we're in this together. I ain't going to be able to work. I don't expect to be able to work in 2026 if things continue the way they are. And I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. I'm looking at things that I can do. So I can write when I feel well enough. I can record these episodes when I'm well enough. I can think, and I can do all of that between copious amounts of napping and sleep and resting. And yes, it's slow, careful, paced work, but it brings me joy. It brings in enough small income to cover the cost of doing it. And it matters to me, and I know it matters to some of you as well. And more than anything, gives shape to my days. I think the family were bemused over the Christmas holidays that I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning as I would on a school day. And I did the same things. And yes, I could have had a lay-in on those days over Christmas. I could have thought, you know what? I'm just going to stay in bed because it's a holiday. But for me, it's really important to have a shape to my day. It allows me to have some sort of routine, some sort of consistency. And that's why, whether it's a holiday period or not, I will get up at the same time and I'll do the same things I always do, and have my morning coffee, and I'll think things through, and it starts my day, and it lets me know that there is some routine and regularity to life, even if I've kind of arbitrarily created it. So that's what I've been doing. I'm going to continue that throughout the new year. So this rather long rambling podcast, slightly brain fog induced, brings me to the question that I began with and that I'm going to leave you with as we step into 2026. Wherever you're listening from, what are you hoping for? Not do you wish would happen, not particularly what would fix everything, but what feels honest this year, what feels possible, what is kind to you. Maybe you're thinking this year, 2026, is going to be a year of rest and trying to get stable. Excuse me. Maybe it's you learning to live inside new limits without completely disappearing. What are you hoping for this year? It would be great to hear from you. You can get in touch. Go to www.lifewithlongcovid.co.uk. You can sign up for free, or you can choose to pay a small amount. But the main reason for doing that is that you read all the articles, all the podcasts are there, and you can we can chat. You can put a message on every article that I do, or chat, or message me directly. It'd be great to hear from you and what your hopes are for 2026. So before I finish, I want to say again, thank you to everyone who subscribes, who listens. Thank you for you. And if this episode resonates, I'd love to hear your hopes for 2026. But whatever they are, be gentle with yourself. Your body might not have caught up with the calendar yet. You may not feel like it's a new year, and that's absolutely fine. Listen to your body. Listen to what you need, not what other people think you might need. And don't be afraid to make changes where necessary. Be bold and confident in how you feel today. And I'll speak to you again soon.